Okay guys, so in today's lesson we are talking about expected probability. And I've just put a little reminder to us about what expected probability the formula is. It is, so I've just put the formula up here just to make us a little bit more aware. It is the sum of x, so the sum of what you're going to get times the probability that it's going to happen. Okay, that's what expected probability is. And that's what this exam question in 2016 focused on. So let's have a read of it together. A local sports club is planning to run a weekly lotto. To win the jackpot of €1,000, contestants must match one letter chosen from 26 letters in the alphabet and two numbers chosen in the correct order from the numbers 0 to 9. In the lotto, repetition of numbers is allowed. So example M33 is an outcome. Calculate the probability that M33 would be the winning outcome in a particular week. So whenever we're asked for probability, a lot of the times we start with fractions, and on the bottom we always have our total. So how are we going to go about working out our total, the total number of possibilities? Well, I suppose when you're working out totals, it's a really good idea to figure out how many choices that you have. So, back at junior cert, we would have done it by boxes. Okay, so one of the options you have is M33. Okay, but we want to figure out how many totally different options you can get. So when you fill out the first letter, you have 26 letters you can choose from, because that's how many letters is in the alphabet. Then you choose a number, and you can choose from 0 to 9, which means there are 10 digits there you can choose. And then you choose another number, and repetition is allowed, so you can put in, there's another 10 choices there. So what you can do is you can multiply all of those, and that will give you 2,600. So there are 2,600 different ways you can fill out this form. What is the chances of it being M33? Well, the chances of that is just you're going to pick one letter, you're going to pick one number, and you're going to pick one number here. So it's actually going to be 1 out of 2,600 is your final answer there. Okay. If a contestant matches the letter only, or the letter and the number, but not both numbers, they will win €50. Okay. Using the table below, find out how a club should expect. Okay, so that's the word expect. So that's taking us back to expected probability to make or lose each play. Correct the nearest cent if they charge €2 per play. Okay. Well, I'm going to fill out the payout first of all, and that's given in euros. So if you win the jackpot, well, it tells me up here you get €1,000. Okay, if you match a letter and the first number, so if contestants match letter only or letter and one number, they win €50. So letter and one number, they win €50. This is the same, letter and one number, they win €50. Letter and neither number, but it says if a contestant matches the letter only, so they still win €50. And then obviously if they fail to win, so if they don't get any of that, they get 0. Right, so I've filled out the payout. What we need to now do is the probability of winning 1,000. Well, we've actually done that. The probability of winning 1,000 is 1 out of 2,600. Okay, because there'll only be one letter and one or two numbers that will actually match that perfectly. So 1 out of 2,600. Right, what is the probability of getting the first letter right and then the first number right? Okay, so you've got some choices here. The probability of getting the first letter right. Well, remember that there are 26 letters, but one will be selected. So you must get that one right out of the 26. And then from the other 25, you don't choose any of those. Okay, so that's if you get the letter and the first number. So and you get the first number right. So that means from the number that's picked out, you get that one perfectly. And then the other 9 that are there, you don't choose those at all. And then the next one is that obviously you would get the last number wrong. So from the 9, so from the 1 that's right, you choose 0. And from the 9 that's left, you choose at least one of those. Okay, So what is that going to give me? Okay, so I've done a little bit of work here for you. So with the first one, I choose the first letter, I get that one correct, and I get the first number. So we are going to have 9 here, because anything with a 0, if there's 25 and you choose 0, that's going to go straight to 0. Okay, so that gives me 9, and it's going to be 9 out of 2,600. The next one is if I match the first letter and I match the second number. So that means from the letter that's picked out, you must choose that. From the other 25, you don't choose anything. Then the second number we get correct. So that means from the first number, we don't get it. And from the 9 numbers that are left, we pick one of those. And then from the last number that's picked, we get that one. And from the 9 numbers that's left, we don't pick any of those. So that would be 1 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 1, which will give me 9. And it's 9 out of 2,600. The next one then is that I match the letter and neither number. So that means from the letter that's picked out, I've chosen that. From the other 25, I don't choose anything. Now then I pick no numbers. So the number that's picked out, I make sure I haven't picked that one. And there are 9 numbers left, I must pick one of those. And then for the second number, the one that's picked out, I don't pick that one. The 9 numbers that are left, it's one of those I pick. So remember, anything with a 0 will just cross off itself, and we're left with 1 times 9 times 9, which is 81, which is 81 multiplied or divided by 2,600. The last one says fail to win, and we've got 0 here. We know the payout is 0. So I'm actually not going to bother working that out, because obviously when you multiply anything by 0, you're going to be left with 0. So the next bit is filling this part in here, which is the expected probability. So remember, it's the amount you win times the probability that it happens. And so we're going to fill out all of those here. So that's going to give me 1,000 divided by 2,600. 9 times 50 is going to give me 450 divided by 2,600. 450 divided by 2,600. And 50 times 81 is 4050 divided by 2,600. Okay, and so we filled out all of that as they requested. We still, I suppose, have to figure out what is the expected probability. So remember, the expected probability is you add up all the probabilities. So if I added up all of those, I'm going to get 5950 divided by 2,600, which is 2.29. Obviously, we know it costs €2 to play the game. Your expected winnings is €2.29. That's to break even. So therefore, the club loses 29 cents per play. So is it a good bet? Yes, it is. Okay, the final part of that question. The club estimates that the average number of plays per week will be 845. If the club wants to make an average profit of 600 per week from the lotto, how much should the club charge per play correct to the nearest? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let y equal the profit per play, because I don't know that. So the total profit equals 845 times y. So 845 times y. So the total profit they want to be, or they expect to be, is 600. So 600 equals 845y. I'm just going to solve for y, which is going to give me y equals 0.71. So they obviously need, that is the profit per play, but it's how much should they charge for it. So 71 cents, and then obviously we've got the expected value of 2.29. So if we add that together, it's going to give me €3.